Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Breakers Creations, or as I like to say here in Australia, hello. I would just like to do a quick check. I faffed around with the settings of OBS for a different purpose recently, and I think I changed everything back, but I just need everyone, if they can just let me know if there are problems or if the picture's bad or funkiness going on or anything like that. I think it's working, but I would definitely appreciate people giving me a thumbs up saying, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. While I'm waiting for some of those responses, I will do my normal thing and say hello to people. So I will say hello to Thomas Armstrong, hello to Sean from Action Retro, hello to 64-bit Guy, Foxhound477, Colin from This Does Not Compute, Apples and Honors, Senzo Fitzhume, Tev Rudin, Chris Angelis, Joe Williams, Callan, Steve from Mac84, Leone, is it Edate? Idate? I apologise. Idate? I'm not very good with the pronunciation, so sorry. Jack68K. 2FX, Too Furious. Yes, indeed. So this is it's all good. It's all good. Excellent. Wonderful. Good. Yep. Right. So hello toilet. Hello. Welcome. Just going to give a quick little recap of things here. Anyone who has been watching, this is now part 5, and this will be the final part of my 2FX series. There is a possibility, slight possibility, depending on my time, that I might cut together like a 15-minute video which summarises the whole process from start to finish. I'll just cut together a few things from the live streams and then just describe the process, much the same that I did with the Macintosh Classic. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure if I will do that. I may or may not. The 2FX has been broken into four different parts. The first part was sticking on all the little... Oh, Jay from the House of Moth is here. Hello there, welcome. Leone Edate. Okay, Leone. Okay, Leone Edate. Okay, no worry. Edate. Is that right? Leone Edate. Okay, cool. I will forget that, by the way. But please don't take offense to that. That's just because that's how my brain works. Stuff goes in, stuff comes out again. Kai is here. Hello there, Kai. So just doing a quick little Roger Solder. Hello there. Jared Burma. Hello there. So the very first episode that I did, I got the 2FX board and I put on all the bird seed. So that's all of the what they call the passive components on the underside, and there are a few on the top side as well. So they all went on, capacitors, resistors, inductors, that sort of stuff. All went on there. Then in the second episode, I did half of the surface mount ICs. That part took me a lot longer than I expected because the only thing I had to go on up until that point was doing a Macintosh Classic, and there's a lot fewer components on a Classic than there are on a 2FX, so this was a much bigger job. So then episode 3 was doing the remainder of the surface mount components, and then I did a couple of things. I did put all the caps on. I didn't do that on camera, and stuff like that. And then the fourth episode was me doing the through-hole components, and so that involved me burning a 2FX board to, sort of till it was burned to a crisp, and throwing out loads and loads of toxic fumes into the environment. So that the fact that the planet's temperature has just gone up by 1 degree, that's largely my fault. But we did manage to get quite a few components off that board in the process, namely things like RAM slots and ROM slot, and I got a new bus slot off, but it was a bit manky, so I grabbed another one. And then we put on the SCSI connector and stuff like that. I probably should change the view to the top here so we can just have a look at the board. I'll move my keyboard out of the way. Shan't need that anymore. Let's just zoom out a smidge. That's a metric smidge. There we go. So here is the board looking all nice. So basically did all of that. I'm just going to check and see if anyone else has turned. I think I've said hello to everyone. Yes, I have. Because here, Bruce, my wireless mic volume was much louder. Guess how I figured that out after I recorded? Yeah. this is sort of one of the things with the microphone that I use, which is a Rode Wireless Pro, Rode Wireless 2, The Pro one is the latest one that's come out. I haven't used that, but this mic you can basically plug into a computer via USB and just bring in the sound via USB completely digitally, without any need for any sort of analog to digital conversion. But the downside to that is that it comes in at quite a low volume, and there's no way on the product to increase that volume, or even on the Mac system when you crank it right up at the top. So what I do to get the volume a bit louder here in OBS is I've got a gain filter running in OBS, and it seems to bring the volume up quite well. I'm talking at the moment, and I'm right in the orange at the moment. Every now and again I go, oh, and I'm in the red. But of course, if there's any clipping or anything like that, you just let me know, and I can always drop the volume. Mega, hello there. One thing I will say about the purple, I'm not a fan. I'm not really a fan of purple PCBs. I don't know. They just seem... I don't know. It makes them look like toys or something like that. I don't know. But I have to also accept that this is not my board. This is Bowl. He's the incredible creative mastermind behind this. He's the one that re-engineered this board so that it went from a 6-layer to a 4-layer. He is the smart cookie. And at the end of the day, purple is his trademark. Anyone who's watched any of Sean from Action Retro's vids about the work he's done on his SE30, whether it be the grayscale board that he put in the SE30, or whether it be the accelerators that he put in, all of these boards that come from Bowl are purple. So, yeah, that's fine. But for me, if I was making one of these up myself, I would just do it in good old standard green. That's just me. So, and of course, having said that, I will be doing that. I'm probably going to order those boards within the next, probably week or two, probably the next 1 or 2 weeks. I'm actually going to order a batch of these myself. I think 5 of them. I'm going to have one for myself, and I am going to sell one to, I mean, when I say sell, I'm going to be sharing the cost with people. I've got another person who has contacted me and said they would be interested in one of the boards, so they will get one of them. And I think Steve wants one too, and someone else. Steve said someone else wanted one. Nick wants one. Okay, Nick, you can have one too. Would you get a custom color? Jack, that's a good... I think I will probably just go green. But having said that, if I'm going to be sharing with other people, I will probably ask them what they want to do, whether they want to go with the purple or whatever. But I to some extent, I want my TWEEZERS, when it's all packed back together, to look as much like an original TWEEZERS as possible, even though we know it will be a completely brand new board. So for that reason, I'd probably like it to be green. Tech step boards on the way to me, and all the parts to build should have 15 units in 1 to 2 months. Wowzers! Have you come up with a price for those yet, Will? I won't hold you to it, but I'm just curious. You know, if you have given the price some thought. Fantastic thing, that really good. Have a pretty salvageable battery bomb TWEEZERS board. Yep. Orange, orange board. Still can't figure out why my Mac CD drive doesn't work. I can't wrap my head around it. I've even purchased a parts Mac and still no change. Tell me what sort of CD drive it is and what sort of Mac it's going into, if you wouldn't mind. We've got some smart cookies in the chat here that know lots about macaroonies. So I'm going to get one at some point. I have pretty salvageable... Yeah, I've already read that one. I have to see what total landed cost is for all the items. So I have to see what customs charges me on duty. Yep, fair enough. So at the end of the last video, I did actually power it up and do a little test. Now, what we did find out from that was that it did nothing, but we were getting heat on all the ICs, so we knew they were all getting voltage. So these things were getting power, but we had a speaker connected and we weren't even getting a pop from it, not even the slightest pop. Normally, when you've got computers that have got a bit of an issue, you might still get a pop from the speaker when you power it on, even if it doesn't chime. Even like a battery-bombed SE30, you know, you can often, if you power it up, you will get a pop from the speaker sometimes. And I was getting no pop. I went and got my oscilloscope out and I did a few tests on the thing, and I checked every single one of these crystal oscillators was oscillating. And I also checked, and I could see that the CPU was getting a clock signal and was getting it was getting VCC, so it was getting power, it was getting clock, and they're often the things that you sort of check for first. So I contacted Bowl, and we had a couple of little chats about things, and I said, I'm getting absolutely no sound from this thing at all. I said, I don't have a new bus slot on it yet, so I can't even check if it's, if it's booting up or anything. I've got no RAM slot, so I can't see if it's going to boot into an operating system. I can't see any video, so all I've got to go on is whether it's chiming or not. And of course, he then sent me a message, a fairly lengthy message, but I saw one word on it, and the minute I saw it, I thought, Bruce, you're an idiot. A grade A moron. He said, and I'll tell you the only word that I saw on it, headphone. And then I just remembered to myself that the headphone sockets on these have a little switch inside them that switches between the sound coming out through the headphone or the sound coming out through the speaker. And when you place a plug into the socket, that switch changes. Now, this headphone socket needs to be in place in order to send the message to the computer to channel the audio out to the speaker. So I just saw that and I'm like, oh, you moron. I'd already taken the headphone socket off the other board. I just hadn't soldered on. So I stuck that on there and I still wasn't getting any sound. So that was good. At that point, I thought, okay, I have to go in and really start inspecting this board closely. So I went in and I checked every single IC from all angles. Just under the microscope, look across all the pins, turn it, look across all the pins. Now I found 3 bridges. One of those bridges was on one of these chips with the teensy weensy pins. It's probably the one with flux still all over it. So here, I'll just get the old UV light out and we can see. Yeah, okay, it was here. So I had one bridge there. This, by the way, this is an ultraviolet light, and it makes the flux that I use, this stereo ASM, makes it glow. It's called a UV tracer, and it's really handy because when you wash a board, you can get out your UV light and see that you've cleaned it all off. And then you can basically see flux here, all the places that I've had trouble. So all around here, there. And the common thread to this whole situation was these small PLCC chips. So, and this is something that's already been resolved. It's been fixed. This is something that's in the version 1 board and it's not in the later boards. And Bowl knows all about this because he built this as well. And he had basically, when he built this, the Gerbers for this, designed this board, the software was putting pins that are way too small for the chip. So if you imagine the chip is that wide and the pins were just the same width. Sorry, the not pins, sorry, the pads. The pads were the same width as the chip. Normally, what you do is you have your pads stick out a little bit. Then you can sort of run a soldering iron down the side. You can get that pad nice and hot. It'll accept the solder and it'll stick a lot better. But these pads were like really, really narrow compared to the size of the actual chip. And it's the case with all of these little ones. There's one there. There's one there. One there. One there. One there. One there. You know, all of these little PLCC chips had the same problem. And it was a real headache in putting it together. And that was where I basically came unstuck. I had a couple of those that had bridges, but more importantly, I had a few where the pins weren't properly soldered down. I went in and had a look under the microscope and found that we had basically a pad sitting there like that, and then you had the pins sitting on top of it with no solder actually connecting the two together. If you were to push the thing down when you switched it on, it would probably work, but you know, I needed to actually get it properly soldered on. And specifically, 2 pins not soldered on this sound chip. And that kind of gives a bit of a clue as to why we weren't getting sound chip, you know, there's a lot of correlation going on there. Right, I'm just going to go in and check translucent PCBs, what? Okay. 7200, 120. Okay, so it's a later one. So you're talking about a tray loading CD-ROM, but that would be Would it be SCSI or IDE for a 7200? That'd be a SCSI CD-ROM drive, would it not? I think. So I'm just looking here. Ryan Joffrey, hello there. I think that one drives me crazy. I suck at those 3 chips now. Yeah, good move. Mickey Kaufman, hello there. Get 100 loader. When is your birthday so I can PayPal you a bag on your birthday? Even the FPU is like that on the SE30. Okay, cool. SCSI. Yeah, okay, so it's a SCSI. And the CD-ROM drive, you just... does it show up in when you do use like SCSI probe to check the devices? Do you actually see the device in there when it's plugged in and switched on? All right, so that's really where we got to. And then the next thing that happened was I grabbed my little power supply, which I'm going to do now, and I got my little plugs. I don't have one single big plug, so I've split this into 2 little ones because I was able to pick them up just from my local electronics, my local JCar store. I mentioned JCar quite a lot. People in the US won't really know, or people outside of Australia won't really know what JCar is, but JCar is sort of an electronics chain, and I have one very, very close to me, so it's extremely convenient. Okay, yeah, you do see it in the SCSI probe. I haven't set properly a Mac 9 or it sees it, but I put several different disks in and nothing. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, look, it could just be a problem with the drive. The drive could just be stuffed. That's always possible. What I would be suggesting is when it comes to putting CDs in it, don't put in ones that you've like burn yourself. Make sure you put in like proper CDs that are manufactured ones. I think that's a really important thing because sort of particularly on old computers, when you burn your own CDs, sometimes you can have a lot of trouble with them. Right, so we're going to do this. I'm going to grab. I don't like the chime on the ROMinator, so I'm going to get a standard 2FX ROM here. We're going to drop that into the slot there, just like thusly. There's our little speaker. I got told off by Boll for doing this because it's metal and that's making contact with these pins there. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't want to get in trouble. Someone makes a modern 486 motherboard like this. Yes, someone will at some stage. All you need is a demand. If you've got a demand, someone will go in and build this stuff. I actually did a video the other day. I have to redo the whole thing because the video quality is stuffed and I did things in the wrong order. But I did a video on repairing a power supply for an iMac 27-inch. So I may share that on Patreon or something, but I'm going to redo it and set up some better cameras and stuff because I used this camera here and I was running it at 4K and the quality was just potato. All right, so I'm going to plug this in now. There's no power switch because this just runs power straight into it as soon as I stick power in. But we're going to get this little speaker and I'll put it here near my microphone. Isn't that a blissful sound? Does anyone else find that a blissful sound? I think it's beautiful. It's just lovely. Chime. So we got it chiming. Now, of course, there's no RAM in it, so we're not going to get any further here, but we did get a chime. In order to get to the next step, we need to do a few things. We need to stick some RAM slots on. I need 4 because they go in banks of 4. I don't need to stick all 8 at this stage, but in order to get it up and running, I need at least 4. I've only got 4 SIMs here at the moment anyway, so if I put in 8, I'm not even going to use them. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, we have some here. Okay, so the pass marks were a good run. Yeah, so, I mean, look, obviously, Oh, 2112ist. Hello there. Hello, Saul. Panopolis is here. Hello there. Yes, it does look almost like a computer, doesn't it? It's quite rewarding. When you look at something like this, you go, yeah, I did that. And all you poor people had to watch it. Now, I have got here a little bag of bits. And so we're going to use some of these bits. I grabbed the SCSI plug, the external SCSI plug off the other computer, but I'm just going to use this one. I've got brand new ones here, so I'm just going to stick a new one on there. We're going to stick a couple of RAM sluts on here. I want to try, I mean, this one's a little bit scungy, but still alright. Wow, I got heaps. I got 4. I didn't even realise I had 4. You can pick the bestest ones. That one's not too bad. That one's probably... These two are probably the pick of the bunch, so let's do those two. And let's make sure we get them around the right way, otherwise I will feel stupid. Right, I'm just going to check all this. Someone mentioned SCSI, and now I'm just going to give everyone here a very quick SCSI lesson. A lot of people in this chat will already know this. But the way SCSI works is it's a single bus that you can actually put multiple devices on. You can have up to, well, technically it's 8 devices, but the 8th one is the computer itself. So you can have 7 devices attached. And each one of those devices needs to have a separate ID, otherwise you will get a clash. If they're 2 of the same ID, one or both of them won't work that are on that same ID. But the very important thing is the termination side of things, and that's where essentially it tells the computer to stop looking any further for more devices. So you've got, you should have the first and the last device in the chain terminated. This is regardless of what ID you have them as. You could have them ID'd as 4, 2, 6, 1, whatever. But in the physical chain, the last one and the first one need to be terminated. So that's just a really important thing. So you obviously need termination. If you're talking about a device like a CD-ROM drive or hard drive, they will normally have little resistors on them for termination. And then if you're talking about an external drive, you probably have a little plug that goes onto the back with the terminator on it. Are those the right SIM slots? They look too short. No, you're right. You're exactly right. They are totally the wrong SIM slots. I'm looking in the exact wrong bag here. So let's not look at that bag. Let's look at this bag. That's a bag from a 2SI. So that's why. And I put the plug in the wrong bag too. What an idiot. Thank you for pointing that out, Colin. I would have realised it at some stage when I basically grabbed my hammer to try and get them in the holes here. But so it makes sense, because I actually thought to myself, that seems like I don't remember taking that many slots off. So there's one. And there's 2. I'm just going to use these double ones here. There's a little bit of corrosion on there, but I think that'll clean up all right. So that's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm glad someone's watching, Colin. Thank you. Hammer solves all it does indeed. Yeah, it's all a lie. You realise that every bit of RAM is compatible with every computer. You just got to force it in there. That's the main thing. Yeah, look at everyone. Yeah, yes. I mean, I would like to think I would have realised it at some stage. Now, this one here is Bank A. This one here is Bank B. Bank A should be populated before Bank B, so Bank A will be the one that I actually put these on. These are designed with 2 holes, and one is a big hole and one is a small hole, and so that way you don't get the mixed up around the wrong way. But also, he's got on the screen print here the little clips where little clips should be, so that makes life a lot easier. I'm just going to make sure these pins are straight, because if they're not, it will make my life a difficult one. Oopsie. Okay, all right. Let's do this. I'm going to. So I'll be very happy when I finish this 2FX board. I have enjoyed doing it, don't get me wrong, but it has been very, very time consuming. I'm done with it, I want to move on to something else. Before I started working on this, I was working on an SE30. We're trying to get that working. Got a whole bunch of other computers here I need to try and get working as well. the people who manufactured this before, 2FX, they bent the pins. I don't bend pins. I don't like bending pins because it's a nightmare for people who have to take things out again. So I do this little trick where I just hold a bit of solder here, like that, and I'm holding it from underside. I'm holding the component in place, giving it a good push down, and then I just melt some solder onto it like that, and it didn't work. There we go. Don't do the trick that, what's his name, Steve Woz was talking about. I don't know if anyone's heard him, Steve Wozniak, talk about the way he used to solder. He would use his mouth, so he'd have one hand holding the component, one hand holding the iron, and then he would feed the solder in with his mouth. This is leaded solder, so we don't want to be putting that in our mouth. That would be bad. Okay. Right. So I have got one pin in that corner and one pin in that corner, and then I am going to solder the rest. But for that, I'm probably going to use the microscope. And guess what? Where's Jay? Jay, are you still here? Like, I've done 2 soldery blobs and no warning about my fume extraction. I need Jay here to tell me. Say, fume extraction alert. There we go. So, just a reminder that I'm using a VVOR fume extractor here. There is a review going to be coming out for this soon. As soon as I get my air quality measurer thingy-rooney thing, which is coming on Tuesday. Back to where the pointer is moving up to the left corner as soon as the pointer shows up on the screen. What maybe? So you're saying you can't move the pointer with the mouse? Is that what you're saying? I mean, the pointer will always appear in the top left hand. So when you very first switch a computer on, an old Mac on, the pointer will appear at that top left location. But are you saying that it appears there and then it doesn't move? I need a little bit more clarification. Rudy is here. Is Rudy here? Where's Rudy? Rudy, hello there. Quadra 700 board next. Right, let's go to scope view. And we'll give you guys a little bit of focus. Your focus is more important than my focus. Okay. And let's work our way across here and solder some of these things down. Oh, hang on. I'm just concerned about that. That looks to me like that. I mean, maybe the pin broke, but I just want to check and make sure that we don't have any of these raised up. Yeah, sometimes they raise up. So I'm just going to work my way along here and make sure there aren't any raised up. Okay, we're good. Flip it again. Flip it. It moves a little bit. That sounds to me like your mouse is probably rogered. I do like, when I'm soldering, seeing that smoke come up and go sideways. It's nice to know it's not fuffing up in my face. That's a word I just made up, fuffing. No AD device even connected. That is an odd one. That is an odd one. You got me there. But one of the things you have to remember about Mac 2s in general is they self-destruct. Specifically the ones with the soldered-on batteries. So there was a later revision where they actually had batteries that could be removed. But the earlier revision had these little axial batteries, 2 of them that were soldered on. Now what they did was they kept a few of the circuits on that computer permanently with electricity in it, and as a result it caused premature corrosion on those traces. And so you've kind of got this situation with, well, virtually every Mac 2 I have ever laid my hands on has had the same problem, and has corrosion, a lot of corrosion that needs to be fixed up. I don't know if that's the case with yours, but it can get all sorts of things going wrong. But that is definitely an odd one, with the cursor moving a little bit in the top left-hand corner. I can't say I've had that before. I watched a film last night called The Fall Guy. Has anyone seen The Fall Guy? From my perspective, I was quite keen to watch it because they filmed a lot of it here in Sydney. And I remember when they were filming it, because not only did we have Ryan Gosling out here, but we had his Mrs. Eva Mendes out here. And she's a bit of a sort. And they did actually close down various streets in Sydney for filming parts of that. And I remember that all being on the news at the time. It inconvenienced a few people with traffic. But it was nice to have our city, because it wasn't just... I mean, in the movie they were in Sydney. It's not like The Matrix that was shot in Sydney, but they wanted it to look like some sort of futuristic, not Sydney. This was actually meant to be Sydney. Happy birthday for Monday, Kai. I saw, yeah, so I felt like The Fall Guy could have been better. I felt like the first act was a bit... It got better as the film went on. But I felt like it was so close to being brilliant. Just a few things lacking, but you know, worst ways to spend your time. And I watched a documentary on Netflix recently on Ashley Madison, and I found that fascinating, especially when it came to the fraud and the data leak and the witch hunt for people who had been, you know, users of it and all that sort of stuff. Do people here remember Ashley Madison? These are nice big holes for these pins. It make these very easy to remove the solder with the solder sucker. The key to solder suckers being efficient is having a reasonable gap between the pin, you know, the size of the pin and the size of the hole. World's fastest Indian. Now, see, I have never seen that. I should have seen that, but I haven't seen that. I think that one was shot in New Zealand from memory. Does this need a PDF slot for video? No, it doesn't. Thankfully, I can get video out just on a new bus slot. I have a card all ready to go. We do have to do a little bit of work on the new bus slot because one of the pins is missing ground that should be getting ground. But thankfully, the pin next to it has ground. So all I have to do is run a jumper from E26 to E27, which we will do. And we should be good. Okay. There we go. There's one. Classic. Right, and here's the next one. Looks good. Now I think one of this has actually got a slightly short pin from memory. One of them snapped when I was trying to bend it, so we'll still be able to get it to solder on and everything like that. We'll still be able to make good electrical contact, but I have got another 3D printer on its way to me from my good friends at Creality. So I'll be doing a review of the Ender 3 V3, Ender 3 V3 Plus, which has quite a large print bed, 300 by 300 by I think it's 335 or something like that. So I'll finally be able to do my Mandalorian helmet. No, specifically I am going to be using it for building computer cases and stuff like that. Nice big print area, should be great. Smash that like button. I'll do the real one, hey? There it is. Smash that like button. Got an A1 on the way to me from Bamboo. There we go. Hello to person who is... That looks like... Is that Japanese? It looks like Japanese. But it may not be. Someone might have to correct me. Maybe it's Korean. But I can't actually read that, so I do apologise. But hello. New bus is kind of old by now. When can we expect new bus? New bus. Chickens are good. Let's go have a quick look at the chickens. Ah, I should have gone to them straight away because I fed them just before I went on to stream. So they were all there. They were all there at those blue bowls. You can see a couple. There's 3 of them, I think. There's 3 behind there. If you look sort of just directly above the blue bowls, there are actually 3 black chickens there, just all having a bit of a little clean and a preen. It is Japanese. Good. I'm glad I recognised that correctly. Which camera I'm using for the chickens? It's a very, very cheap CCTV cam. I need to get the details from it, but it's I got it for real cheap, and then I run it with software. So I've got this software that's called I think it's Security Spy. Jay from the House of Moth put me on it, and I have that running on a server up in the house, and then all the cameras are then networked to that, and then I can then get the feed from the camera here on there. Here we go. Here's that. There is the big Australorp. And then there's the little white one there. None of them have names, so sorry about that. But this camera, you can actually use it self-contained. So it needs power, obviously, but it will run Wi-Fi or it will run cabled networking. And when it runs, and whichever one you decide to use, it will then join your network and it will have its own IP address, and then you can actually access it. It's got its own web console, so you can visit an IP address and visit that camera. So you can actually use it like just totally self-contained if you want. I think you can even stick an SD card in it and get it just to record straight onto an internal SD card. But I just have them connected up to software, and the Security Spy, it does all the motion sensor stuff, so if it detects any motion, it'll record video and the time and all that sort of stuff. It's very handy. I need to add a few more cameras, actually. Why are your clouds broken? Get some glue. Why are my clouds broken? I don't know what that means. By the way, it's broken cloud sky. There it is, broken cloud sky. Yes, well, it's not particularly broken at the moment. It is completely cloudy. It's not raining or anything like that, and it's quite a thin cloud, but it is very cloudy outside, and it's quite chilly too. I know that no one believes me when I say that I'm cold, but I'm cold. 16's cold for me. I'm from Sydney. We're not used to cold. And no one builds homes here properly for cold. So, people will be like, it's way colder than that here. But it's like, yeah, but your house is built for it. You have proper insulation and you have central heating and stuff like that. We don't have central heating. We don't have insulation. They built these houses with terrible insulation. The house that I'm in at the moment, there's no insulation in the walls whatsoever. Basically just got a frame with your, what we sort of call gyprock, but your plasterboard on the inside, and then your fibro on the outside. We've got some cladding. There's some insulation on the cladding, which has been added later on. But, yeah, I mean, it's just how it was when they built houses back then. This house was built in about 1961, I think. 61, 62, something like that. So it's full of asbestos. It's during that era that asbestos was the best thing in the world. But they might have been a little bit wrong about that. Yes, the black chicken is gigantic. I've actually got two gigantic chickens. The blind one is huge, and the black one is huge. And the black one is the top dog, the alpha chicken. And she doesn't like me very much, because the fact of the matter is I'm the alpha, and I don't think she likes that. There's my busted one. So I'm just going to feed loads of solder, and that will do a continuity test afterwards to make sure we are making contact. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. I fed a lot of solder into that hole there, so I think it will have definitely wrapped around the pin. And I kept it hot for a while to make sure the pin was getting hot. But of course, double checks. We do the double checks. Good morning, see you soon. Oh, well, there you go. Thank you very much for saying good morning. I appreciate someone doing the translation on that. I do hope you can understand what I'm saying. Because I am afraid I am not multilingual. I am... And it's mainly because I didn't do a whole lot of schooling, but I would have loved to have learned some languages, but never did. I can barely speak English, to be honest. Oh my god, no. I have ordered a new studio light. I only ordered one because it's expensive. I'll order another one later on, but I wanted to test it out. So it's a studio light with a softbox. I have lights at the moment, but the way they work, they've actually got loads and loads of globes in them with LED lights, and they're prone to failure. This one's made better, and it's one single massive LED with a softbox, and this is for doing all of my pre-recorded videos where I sit in front of a camera. Sit in front of a camera and say, "Hi there, my name's Bruce Rain from Breakfast Creations. In this video, I'm going to be." I've got so much coming video-wise. I might even try and get one finished today. We'll see. I've recorded much of it. And then I've got, at least I've got a whole stack in the pipeline at the moment. And I've got review videos coming too. Going to be reviewing a multimeter. I'm going to be reviewing this fume extractor. Going to be reviewing another thermal camera. I'm going to be reviewing a 3D printer. So, yeah, it's all happening. I would love to be able to do the YouTubing full time. Not quite there yet, unfortunately. But maybe one day. Alright, that looks good. Have you started selling the new IIfx multimeters? Not yet. I should actually put an affiliate link in, even though I've been using it. It's the multimeter it's the only multimeter I've been using over the last sort of week or so. And it is, I'm very happy with it, but I haven't done any accuracy tests yet. So at the moment, I'm just taking it, that it's right. I've been doing a lot of like diode testing lately, and when you're doing diode testing, you measure voltage drop, and it doesn't have to be super accurate. Generally, when you're testing the forward bias, you would normally expect to get about a 0.5 voltage drop, and when you do reverse bias, you expect it to be open. And that's about what I'm getting, but I haven't compared it to any other multimeters to see how accurate it is. Okay, now we're in a new bus slot, don't we? Oh, yes. Quicksilver Oz, hello there. Damn your YouTube notifications. Yes, I know they're terrible, aren't they? Do have a look on my... if you follow me on Facebook, I will usually post when I'm doing a drawing. And so if you follow me, you might get a Facebook post or Facebook notification, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that works. Okay, so I have got my little Nubus slot here. Let's just change cameras for a sec. Top view. Zoom in a little bit, I think. Here we go. Yeah. This is my FPU and this is my CPU. I'm loaning it just for the purpose of this testing. This is our new bus slot. We've got all the pins there, which is great, and they're all pretty much straight. I'm hoping this will just go on fairly easily I won't have to wrestle with it. And I've got to make sure we get this around the right way, which is that way, because this can go on two different ways. And if I put this around the wrong way, I will feel like such a ninny. I just need to check this because I sort of feel like I'm not sure if I've got all the pins through. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Oopsie. Focus. Focus. Focus! Hello. So there it is with all the pins. I'm going to just check here because if there's one pin bent over, I don't want to discover that afterwards. Yep, we're looking good. Would someone smash the like button for me? Do-do. Hi there, my name's Bruce Rain from Rankus Creations. So, the other day, I mentioned this in my last live stream, and it gets worse, alright? So I go to a restaurant last Saturday night. Had a great time, really nice food, good company, good fun. When I walked into the restaurant, and I'd made a booking, and I'd made the booking under the name Bruce. So I came in and I said, I have a 7 o'clock booking. And she said, Bruce. And I said, yes. She said, you look like a Bruce. I was like, really? I said, yes. So that's what a Bruce looks like. It looks like me. The other day, I'm at the drive-thru. I get my food. The girl's giggling at the door when she's handing me my food. I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, this guy thinks you look like a Bruce. And I'm like, well, I am a Bruce. And then the guy comes up to me and I said, yeah, I saw your name on the order, because I did an order through an app. So my name came up for the order. I said, yeah, your name came up, but you look like a Bruce. So there you go, everyone. This is what Bruce looks like. according to these people. I mean, this like happens twice in like 4 days or something like that. It's like, what's going on? You look like a Bruce. And you smell like one too. I do need a shirt for that, don't I? It was just such a weird thing that happened last Saturday because I mentioned that I mentioned this in my live stream. I got recognised for the first time from my YouTube channel. Someone came up to me and said, "Are you Bruce?" And of course, this was after this woman had said to me, "You look like a Bruce." I'm thinking, my God, do I really look that much like a Bruce? That a stranger would just come up to me and say, "Are you Bruce?" But it was actually that he recognised me, so. So I just get a t-shirt made up that says, "You look like a Bruce." I haven't done any merch, any personalised merch at this stage. I mean, I've got my affiliate links with QWERTY. There are links in the description. They're the ones that do these fun shirts like this one here. I'm just going to show you very quickly. See this one here, which I love. I love this sort of stuff, just, you know, novelty, esoteric stuff. And I get these from QWERTY, and I have an affiliate with them, you know, affiliation with them. So there are links in the description. If you use the links, there's a discount. So do check out those shirts if you like. If you like fun shirts, there's some great ones there. I like the ones. I particularly like the ones that reference movies. You know, sort of movies with, sort of, I guess, a cult status. But, you know, sort of someone like Steve in particular, my goodness, he's prolific when it comes to his custom merch, all that stuff about performers and 32-bit and 64-bit and all this sort of stuff. I mean, he's got some amazing merch out there. And I keep thinking, yeah, I should do that too, but I keep thinking, look, what the hell am I going to do that someone's going to want to buy? They don't ship anything in my size. Oh no! I'm I think a 2XL in their size, but Kai is a significantly larger human being than I am. In it. We love soldering pins. I'd buy a "You Look Like a Bruce" shirt. I think it's a compliment. They're telling me I look like either Batman or the Hulk. Because you've got Bruce Wayne and you've got Bruce Banner. Two very famous Bruces there that aren't real. Dark Bruce Banner, hit with the gamma rays, turns into the Hulk, ain't he in glammy rays? Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Bruce Springsteen, of course, yes. Who can forget Bruce Springsteen? Never covers my belly. I have got one shirt like that. I don't know why this one shirt is different. I don't know, different manufacturer or something like that. But I've got these t-shirts, the same size, width-wise, fits me that way. But, you know, when I put my hands up in the air, you can see my belly button. And I'd rather people weren't submitted to that. All right. Let's just have a quick little look here. I haven't got any floppy sockets or anything. I'm not going to fire up a floppy. Oh, and there is a... I haven't got any serial ports on this. There is a bodge that needs to be done for the serial to work on this board. But now we've got 4 RAM slots here. We have got a ROM slot. We've got a new bus slot, just the one. We've got a SCSI port. I think we probably have enough to maybe do a test. So let's turn off the fume extraction. What a nice night to solder a PDS slot, indeed. It's nice and firmly on there now. Lots of pins. Lots of pins. Yeah. Okay, I've just got some little Pico fuses here. Unfortunately, the self-healing fuses, when you take them off the board, they fall into 2 parts. And I don't know how effective they are when you then put them back together again. So that's a little bit tricky. So as I say, I'm just using Pico fuses for the SCSI here at the moment. Right, I think we're all good. So let's have a little bit of a go at this, shall we? I'm going to grab myself... Oh, sorry, I haven't done the bodge. I'm going to just show this very quickly. This is the photo that I got. That's the wrong one. This is the photo that I got from Bowl, and we've got basically, oh, it's a bit blurry, isn't it? So you've got here, you've basically got a bodge, A26 and A27 together. I've got to go back and look at all the chat. I've missed so much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along. That's A27, and the next one up is A26. So I've just got to do a little wire between A26 and A27. So that's straightforward. Then later on, when I do the rest of the new bus slots, I'll run a wire all the way across. But for just this one slot, all I need is just that one bodge. So pretty straightforward there. So we'll flip the board over again, and I'll read some of the chat. You forgot 8-track. Well, I didn't actually, because 8-track never made it here to Australia. We didn't have 8-track here at all. That was a US thing predominantly, I think. Calls you the awesome Australian soldering guy. Sure, why not? I'll take that. It's like shirts and coffee cups are recession proof. Are they? Right. I think I'm all caught up. So if we have a look here, I'm going to get myself a little piece of wire. It doesn't need to be thick. Oh, I'm going to use 34 AWG. That stands for American Wire Gauge. It's only going to need a tiny weeny little piece. I mean, I could probably do it with a solder blob, to be honest. Should I just do it with a solder blob? Let's see how we go. I'll see if I can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yep. Done. All right, now we can get into the nitty-gritty. Nitty-gritty. What's a side view like? Oh, it's bright, isn't it? I might just faff around with the camera here because that's Elgato. Right click, filters. Have I got any filters running on this? No. It's just bright. I'm going to fix that up. Oh, unless I've got something here. Let's have a look. Let's go to Camlink 4K. Oh, look, I've got some brightness control there. Isn't that cool? Advanced. But I just think it's too bright. I'm just going to play around with that quickly. I might have accidentally bumped the thing here. Where is it? That one. Manual iris, auto iris. It's still too bright. Let's have a look at that. How's that look? Is that all right? Is it all right? You all right? Yeah, good, thanks. Okay. I think that's an okay view. There we go. This camera that we're looking at this through, you can't really tell because it's going through like an HDMI convertery to doodly thing. But this used to be the duck's guts, I tell you. I mean, when I first got this camera, it was amazing. But it's only 1080. I mean, it's prosumer, so it wasn't like a full professional camera, but it was that, professional consumer-y type thing. So, we've got a new bus. And everyone will be pleased to see that that's around the right way. This is a card that Apple made that when you bought it like this, it did 256 colours at 640 by 480. But you could put some little RAM sims on here, VRAM sims onto here, and that would take you up to 1 million colours at 640 by 480. And then there was also a version of this where these slots weren't here, but this was populated. And with these populated, it gave you the same amount as if you had these populated. So there were, as I say, two versions of the card. There was this one that was upgradable, and there was one that was not upgradable, but it was already at the upgraded state. So, and I imagine if you just went and bought these chips, you could probably upgrade this. I think. I don't know. I am stealing Kai's RAM for this, so I'm stealing from Kai to give to Kai. Because he sent me a 2FX board and it had some RAM in it. I'm actually using the ROM from that as well. Am I? Yeah, that way. I hope these are like 4s or something. I hope they're not just like 1 megabyte sims and we're only loading up with 4 megs of RAM, because I think they could stuff me up, because I think the system I've got here is 7.5 and that's going to want 8. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. ROM. ROM-tastic. Now, let's get all the little bits together, shall we? I might need to change. I've got one of these little DB15 adaptery type things. Adaptery doodles, as Joe would say. Let me just go. Let's 13.640. Yeah, okay. I'm just doing it on 640 by 480 mode. Should be fine. Connect that up there. And then people should be familiar with this little monitor that I use quite regularly. It's actually just it's designed for when I'm doing video stuff. It's a monitor so that I can see what I'm doing. But it's also got a remarkable amount of resolutions that it supports. So that's my thing. I've got a mouse here. Let's get a mouse and plug it into ADB. I'm testing everything at once here. I mean, I'm going for it. I will not accept no for an answer. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Need a power supply. Got a little bit of space for it here. And I do mean a little bit. Adaptery doodles. Whoopsie. I've got a 2FX power supply just over there, but it has never been tested. And I'm not sure if it's a good idea to test it for the first time on a board that I spent so much time. Oh my goodness, what's going on? We suddenly lost the side view. Don't ask me why. It just disappeared. Right, so I'll put this here. I want to just try and get this. There we go. Right, well, it's the moment of truth. I don't know what's going to happen here. I really don't. We got a chime before, so that's a good sign. But is it going to boot? Anyone's guess. All right. If everyone is ready, hold on to your butts. Oh, green. It's getting a signal. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at that. Isn't that glorious? Now, of course, it's not going to do anything. You know why? Because I'm a dumbass and I didn't actually connect up a hard drive to it. Did we miss a step here? Oh, wow, my stomach just made the most glorious noise. All right, let's go. This is a blue SCSI. This is, I look at these blue SCSIs with such incredible fondness, and not because, you know, I massively like one over the other, but I built these by hand. So when you build something like that by hand, you develop an incredible fondness for it. You look at it, you think, I did that. Even though I didn't design it or anything like that. You need to be smart to do that. I'm just a doer. Whoopsie. Not a thinker. Right, now during my testing that I was doing before, I did end up with a, what do you call it, flashing light, or a light on the blue SCSI. I'm going to have to move this up here. I'm worried about with that being metal. So I'm going to flip that over there. I think I have 7.3, maybe 7.1 on this SD card. We'll wait and see what we get. If worst comes to worst, I'll have to go up and get a different SD card. But anyhow. Okay. I'm looking at it. And... oh, blue light. And Bootaroonie. Wow. I'm pretty excited. Okay, I don't think I'm moving the cursor. Oh, yes, I am. It's, there we go. So, the first thing we're going to do is go here to monitors. Monitors, because I do not like looking at things like this in black and white. Colors 256. This is amazing. This is a 2FX, man. What about it? How about it? How do you say about that? About this Macintosh? It has only got 4 megabytes, but thankfully I've got System 7.1 on there. So that's quite good. That means I've probably got a few things on here. I've probably got things like Snooper. What did it say? Did it say 2FX? Macintosh 2FX. Look at that. Oh my god. So cool. Utilities. Let's get up a little bit of the old speedometer. Version 4. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Not yet. Sorry, I would register, but I don't think you're in business anymore. Tests. Run all tests. Are you sure? I don't know. Yes, I'm sure. Incidentally, the Blue SCSI discs don't do particularly well in some of these benchmarking tests, even though they are so much faster, because they don't necessarily increase the throughput that much, but they do massively increase the seek time. So, when you look at that disk, it's actually saying it's only like 1.5 over a mechanical drive, but of course it's so much more if you start looking at reading and writing small amounts of data, where you do lots of seeking. Okay, I'm just going to jump across to here. And we go to, sorry, this one here. Right. Okay. Wonder what yes, well, we could try MacBench. I've got MacBench on here. MacBench is bloody slow, though. It takes forever to run tests on the thing. So this benchmark it's doing based on a Quadra 605, which of course is a 68040 faster computer. If you were to run this on, I think, Speedometer version 3, it does the benchmark compared to a that's a classic or something like that. Excuse me. So we're doing a little video test, which is making the brightness, auto brightness on this thing get all freaked out. Ryan, thank you very much. Got to go enjoy walking the dogs. Hello, Max. How are you today? Oh, God, I'm cold. Eric, hello there. I didn't see you turn up. I am cold. Yep. Once again, when I'm doing this, when I'm sitting here looking at this TWEEZERS board in front of me, and I'm looking at it, I'm looking at this purple board that I've just put together, and I'm looking at it running off a Blue SCSI. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's a great time to be into vintage computers. The level of stuff being made, I mean, even things just as simple as the stuff that's, that guy's, Stephen made, those little battery thingies. What are they called? The Meow Toast or something? I can't remember, but the little thing that allows you to put a CR2032 battery into a half AA socket. And I look at that and I just think, oh man, it's just so good that these people are out there thinking. And Will here, KMac Vintage, recreating the tech step. And I mean, the tech step, one of those used to turn up on eBay. You'd have to mortgage your house if you wanted to buy it. Okay, what's this? Nick, Bruce, I have 4 or 5 boxes of logic boards that I found last week when reorganizing one of my storage units. Are they working? It'll be interesting. Watched a movie with the kids. Fair enough. I wonder how the 824 GC card would fare in the benchmarks. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would do better. This is a very, computer graphics, of course, have just become such an amazing thing. When I very first got a Mac 2, and it was secondhand at the time, I got it in about 1992, I think. The whole concept of graphics acceleration was virtually just non-existent. It was more just about, I can now see color. Before it was all black and white. When I bought my Mac 2, it came with a display card, but it was a grayscale display card. And I was baffled by that. I'm sort of like, wow, shades of grey, that looks amazing. I'd open up a photo and it was like, that looks so real. And then I got a colour card and it was like, oh wow, now I started off with 16 shades of colour and then, 256 and then millions. And then, of course, down the track you started getting display cards with acceleration so that, you could move windows around really zippy. Let's just see how the results have gone on this. We'll just go here and we'll go system comparison. It will ask me to open up the machine records and then I will compare them, this machine to, let's compare it to a stock 2FX to start off with, I guess, if there's one here. I don't think there is one. Son of a gun. What would you like me to compare it to? Nothing here. Oh, geez, look, there's a 50 megahertz SE30. Someone's put an accelerator in. I suppose we can compare it to that. So, it's probably a little bit hard to see that. I know it's a little bit blurry off one side. It's the way this camera is, and I apologeticals for that. Here we go, it's a bit better. So we've got 0.7 versus 0.87, you know, and things. We'll compare it to a 2CI then, shall we? Yeah, 2CI is a good... There's no 2CI. Oh, there it is. 2CI. Compare it to a 2CI. Yeah, okay, so we can definitely see an improvement there in the CPU. It's better. The math is better. You know, I mean, across the board, we're looking at a faster computer there, that's for sure. So that's all good. What I might do is... I'm not sure if I have Tattletech on this, but I'll just check and we can check it all out. I'll quit out of this. Save changes. No. That's why I didn't save changes. When you get that type 1 error when it quits, it stuffs the machine records up. If you're saving them, that is. Tattletech, there we go. Look at that old Tattletech there. The beaut old Tattletech. If you plan using it, give me money. Give me some money. Right, general hardware. What have we got here? 32-bit capable. Let's go to it's knows it's 2FX. Let's go to CPUs. Okay, there we've got a 68030 running at 39.94 megahertz with a bus speed of 40. So we're all looking pretty good here. Hardware FPU, fantastic. All right. I'll tell you what I am going to do, just very quickly. I won't go for a long time, but I just want to do this. I want to hear the sound. I want to hear the sound. Actually, I should fire up Wolfenstein too, see if that works. Here we go. Are we ready? What? Oh, not enough memory. Yeah, what? Let's quit Tattletech. That might fix us. File. Quit. How much memory do I need? I have got 2.5 there left. Let's try it now. Yeah, just one quick game of Civ. I'll be the Romans. No L2 cache. Should be showing some. I don't know. If there's something you want me to check for, please let me do that for you, Kai. Just let me know what you want me to check. Quit. Okay, so let's just... Oh, actually, I can't do Wolfenstein. I don't have a bloody keyboard connected. I will remedy that. I've only got one USB port. So ADB port, sorry. So I have to disconnect the mouse, connect the keyboard, and then plug the mouse into the keyboard. Yes, you stepped away at the worst possible time, Steve. I don't know. I mean, you missed all of the magic. It basically just worked first go. So, just the soldering on the cache chips between the ROM and the RAM. Okay. Are they the ones... Can you give me letters? Are they UL11, UL13, UL16, and UL17? The little chips that are 74F573? No? Or... Can you possibly just tell me what the codes are for those chips, and I'll check them for you? Check software first. Snooper might show it. Snooper duper, lights are gonna find you. Snooper. Utilities. Snooper. I've mentioned this before to people, but I'm going to mention it again because I sort of feel like this is something people should know. I have 256 bytes of level 1 cache. Alright, let's go here to info. System info. Okay, I don't see anything there about caching. Info, CPU info. No. I don't know where else I would find that info. System info and CPU info. That's the operating system, so there's no there. Hardware. Or do we just run a test? So we go here, a logic test. And we'll go here to VRAM, SCSI board, FPU, ADB, CPU. There's nothing here about a cache anywhere. So under the ROM sim, under the ROM sim. Oh yeah, I see those four. So that's UD7, UD8, UD10, and UD11. Now, when I did solder them, one of those I did have a bridge on. Now, I have fixed that bridge, but I might need to check again, see if I've got any pins that didn't get soldered down properly. Check UQ7 to UQ11. Yeah. Is it Q? Oh, it looks like a D, but yeah, it's Q. Yeah, that's what I thought they were, but I didn't want to say that and say something stupid. So let's have a look at. There was Tattletech we were looking at before, wasn't it? Actually, Norton's has a little system inquiry doodly thing as well. So let's have a look at that. Norton Utilities. We've got. There's a little application in here called System Info. Get info. Okay. This system's disk cache is a different size than the reference system 128K. Different disk cache sizes, specifically if it disk test results. Disk cache, that's nothing. It's a RAM cache. That's fine. That's software. So I don't know. So that would be if we go up here and you've got here memory, and then you've got here disk cache. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? I think 32-bit memory addressing. Panopolis, thank you for joining. Bye-bye. I don't know. So let's have a look at Tattletech again, because I wasn't paying any attention to that whatsoever. But I will check those chips again, because they have more PLCCs, so they have those little annoying little and tiny little pins and stuff. License to Steve. Data cache size 0 bytes. We have to check that against the real 2FX. I've got one just here. So if you want me to fire up the real 2FX to the same environment, we'll just compare it. L2 cache type, NA. Instruction cache, NA. Data cache size, NA. Alright, so what we'll do, we can do this very quickly. I'll just swap all the RAM and ROM over onto the other 2FX board. We'll fire that up, and then we'll see if we see any difference between the two. I don't want to go down the path of sort of like investigating something and find that there was nothing wrong with it. I like to be careful. Oh, now the reason why it's coming up with that and not just shutting it down is because I've hardwired it, so with my power supply. God, I love these metal clips on RAM slots. You know, I mean, dealing with the older ones that have the plastic clips and you're just having to so gingerly remove the RAM. You have these metal clips and just like, yeah, you can just throw them around. Who cares? Whoopsie. Is this the good one? No, no, no. Is this the good one? I think this... Is this the good one? Yeah, it is a good one. Did yours have a whole bunch of trace repairs on it, Kai? Because there's a bunch of trace repairs on here, but I don't remember. This one does work, though. It may not be yours. I've got it all recorded with the serial number, but I just don't know. Around the main oscillator to give it. Was it around the main oscillator? Because this one's these trace repairs I see are up around the battery. Actually, there's some wires here that haven't even been done. This may not even be yours. You know what? But it doesn't matter. It does work. I think it works anyway. If it doesn't, yours is up here behind me somewhere, and I'll grab that. M. Was I humming the theme to Pacific Rim? That's impressive because I've never seen it. So I dare say this one here probably doesn't have a functional startup circuit at this time, but I don't need that. Oh, and actually, having said that, look at that. I'm not getting video. So this one is not right. So this is not yours. Let me find yours. Macintosh 2. That's a 2CI. This looks a little bit 2FXy. No, that's a 2. That looks a bit 2FXy. 2FX, there we go. This has got to be, because yours was in really good nick. Yours had very little. Oh God, no. What's this one? This can't be it. I need to look up the bloody serial numbers. Let me just get the repair thing so I can just know for certain which one is yours. I'll be back in a sec. I mean, I'm not going anywhere, but my attention will be back in a sec. Alright, let me disconnect this. There's no point in going with this if it's not going to work. I may have even taken yours up to the house because it just needed to be packed up. I have a sneaking suspicion I got some boards that were ready to be packed up and took them up to the house, but I'll check. Oh, actually, I bet you I know where yours is. But just be right back. I'll be right back. I'm just going to do the back soon thing. So just watch your volumes. This sometimes comes in loud. Oops. Well, look at the chickens. I found this one here. I didn't actually look this up. I never got around to that part. But this I'm almost certain is it. This one looks all functional. And some nice little tidy trace repair work. Oh yeah, I see that. Oh yes, I see it. Yep. This is the one. It's all coming back to me now. I actually recognise working on this board. So... Alright. Alright. So I was borrowing the RAM. Oh, what happened there? I bumped the key. I was borrowing the RAM and I was borrowing the ROM from a board that wasn't yours, Kai. And I didn't even ask that person permission. So that one has still got work to do. So that's, I'm going to figure out whose it is. I mean, I have it all recorded on computer and stuff, so it's not like these things are just flying around aimlessly. I just put in the serial number and I look it up. One yellow actual cap on the right of the Sims. It's blue. Maybe mine. You've got one here too. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Again, look, I really should just look this crap up, shouldn't I? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. I'll look it up. We have computers. We can do this stuff. Do-do-do. Okay, let's go KAI. There we go, 2FX. Edit. Let's have a look at serial number. BZ00200692. Yep, this is yours. I can confirm it. There we go. So this one we know fires up, so I shouldn't really have any issue with this. I've connected my SCSI of the blue. Connect up the mouse and keyboard. Video's already connected. Need to connect the speaker, but I think I lost it somewhere. What happened to the speaker? Oh, there he is. Fell on the floor. This is the speaker I got from one of the barn find Macs, and as you can see, some little critters had a little bit of a munch on this one. There we go. Feeling good about it. Now, even though I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new bus slots, a PDS slot, floppy connectors, serial ports, and another ADB port to stick on, I will not be televising that. This 2FX build will end with this live stream today. And I feel like even though we've got some things that, haven't been finished, I think the ability to start it up, run some software on it, I feel like that's enough. I feel that's enough, should give people some closure for those who have been, tuning in week after week as I've done this. All right, let's see how we go. Didn't get a chime for that one. I might just. This one worked. We all know this one worked. So it seems like now I've only got one 2FX board that works. Isn't that great? And it's the one that I built. Jedi Master. I do have 2 more reloaded builds that I am going to do. I'm not necessarily going to do them straight away. I'm going to work on some other things in the meantime. But I've got a 2CI reloaded board, and I have got an SE30 reloaded board. The SE30 is probably the one that I want to do the most, because I'm pretty sure I have everything in order to just do that one. All right, let's try this again. See how we go. Why isn't it chiming anymore? It was chiming. Why does this happen? What's with these computers? How come they do this? When I press the reset button, I'm getting the pop. But this one was just working beautifully. It was. I take the ROM out and swap it with the ROM that I had on the other one. I'll get the ROM from this one. And I'll pop the ROM in there. And then we'll see if that makes a difference with a different ROM. Nope. No difference. If I take the RAM out, we should be able to get a chime even if there's no RAM in there. Oh, I wonder. I've got a thought about this now. No. Yeah, I've got a thought. So I might have to come back to this one. I've got a possible thought of what might be going on here. I'll have to have a look at that afterwards. But in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll just give a nice close inspection of those little cache chips that we were talking about on the other board, just to check and make sure that I haven't got any bridges or unsoldered pins, because that is a very high likelihood. And I'll come back to this one and get it sorted out, because as I say, I've got a sneaking suspicion I might know what's going on with this one. But I'm very confident we'll get this one sorted, because this was working before. Nothing has been done to it that I would expect it to stop working. So yeah, I'll return to that one, and then I'll get rid of it as fast as possible. So if it then stops working, it stops working at Kai's place and not here. Okay, this board. Let's have a look. Let's get the microscope. Hello, 3Jane. 2SI's very nasty PC you just started up after a rebuild. Excellent. That's the first PC I've ever repaired. Thank you and some others on YouTube for showing me how. You're most welcome. That is awesome. Yeah, 2SI. What a pain the power supply is on those. You know, it's got all those sort of leaky caps in there, and it's got the surface mount electrolytic caps on that little daughter board. What a pain. What a pain. Thankfully, that is being remade. There are recreations of that power supply being made, which is fantastic. Let me just go to Scope View, and I'll have a nice close inspection of this. So I don't know if, let's hope you guys can see this. Might move that back a tiny bit. There we go. So I can rest this on there. There we go. Okay, so what I'm looking for are any of these that look like they are either bridged or they're not soldered to the board. Now, I did have a bridge and it was there, and that has been since removed. But having said that, it might still be bridged under the chip. I'll have to check. Yeah, they're okay. They're soldered. They're not the best joints, but they're soldered. Yep. Doesn't just look like a computer, Jay. It runs like a computer. We booted it. Two PSU replacements. That is awesome. That is so cool. Some gunk under there, but I don't think it's actually bridged. Gunk. And that's it. That's all of them. So what I might do is just get my multimeter and check and see if this bridge that I made is unbridged. It's just these ones here. Let me get a pen so I can highlight them. I'm going to have trouble finding them afterwards. This one and this one. I just want to check if they're getting continuity on those two. Mouse fell down. It doesn't count until it's running Unreal Tournament. Okay, we want beepity beep mode on this sucker. Always check beforehand. Yes. And then little craps. I'm going to need my goggles for this. That's too small. Not good enough for my old eyes. No. No continuity there, so I did fix that bridge. It has been fixed. So I don't know. Is it something to do with these jumpers here? I don't know. Because there are all these jumpers. Oh no, that's the speaker. But then there's a jumper here, and there's a jumper there. I don't know if there's anything meant to be done with those. No, they don't appear to be connected. No. I'm looking at them on a real board here. And they're just empty holes. Don't know what they're for. So I'll have to do some further investigations into the cache and find out what's going on. So the main thing I want to do is get one of these other 2FX boards that I've got here fired up. I know that Kai's was working, so I'll probably just work on that one and see if I can get that happening. But in the meantime, I want to fire up a little bit of Wolfenstein, see how it plays, because, you know, that's the gauge. First-person shooters. Shooters. First-person shooters. FPS. And, of course, Wolfenstein was probably the first that got real traction, I guess. I mean, it might have actually just been the first, but... It's interesting because I was watching a little video the other day about the Amiga, which of course was a great gaming computer and really nice graphics and stuff like that. But the way the computer was designed, the one thing it did not do well was first-person shooters. And that was not a good thing because the whole world was becoming first-person shooter crazy. And if your hardware couldn't run first-person shooters very well, you're going to lose. The video about Amiga being killed by Wolfenstein, that's the one. I mean, I can't fact-check that. I don't know enough about that stuff. I'm just taking it as gospel. It may not be. That he might have been talking nonsense. But it sounded plausible. How long have I been going for? I haven't even been going for 2 hours. What's this? This is crazy. Oh. I haven't connected ADB. And I haven't connected a speaker. And unless we hear that chime, it didn't happen. Schrodinger's chime. It's there and not there at the same time. One thing that I can tell you with the Amiga, because I've got an Amiga 500, and the thing that really impresses me is like playing arcade games on it, or replicas of arcade games, which is a big deal at the time, you know. I mean, in those early days, being able to play those arcade games on, you know, a home computer was pretty amazing. Right. go here to Wolfenstein. May run slowly on this Mac. Yes, I believe you. Ba-dum bum 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 bum. It's going in and out of time. It really struggles with the fades. The sound goes all wonky when it goes through the fades from image to image. Are you psyched? I'm psyched. I'm going to grab the keyboard in a minute because I hate playing with a mouse. Configure keyboard. I would like the number keys, please. Default. Keypad. There we go. Okay, well, we're pretty small here. We ready to see what the frame rate's like? Ugh. Oh, piffle, I can't go. That's as close as I can go. Sorry, friends. Oh, that's not bad. It's quite playable. There it is. Achtung! Well, I mean, it's tiny. The screen's the size of a postage stamp. But the frame rate's alright. I'm on a murderous rampage. I'm finding it very hard to see. There we go. Oops, wrong button. Oh, I killed the doggy. I'm a lousy shot. I'm down to 2%. I better find some stim packs or whatever they are. They're the Doom ones, aren't they? Okay, I've had enough. Would redo Wolfenstein for the Mac. Yeah, I did a video on my favorite OS 9 games recently, and one of the games that I featured was Doom. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Doom is you can now play Doom natively on Apple Silicon. And you just play it full screen. It looks fantastic. And for anyone out there who is a fan of the game Riven, Myst style game, Riven is being re-released, I believe, later this year using the Unreal Engine. And I have seen some of the footage from it, and it is dazzling. It is just amazing. I can't wait for that to come out. I will be buying it as soon as it's available. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay. Right, so we need to kind of sort out what the situation is with the cache here. I will do some further investigations on that to see whether it's something that I have done wrong or whether it is all as expected. And what else? I need to put the rest of the RAM slots on, and I need to stick the rest of the new NUBUT slots on processor direct slot, floppy connectors, external SCSI connector, 2 serial ports and another ADB port. Oh, and the battery holders. I think I still have some battery holders. I'll be annoyed if I don't. You know, I buy them in great big bulk, but, you know, you just grab one here and there, and the next thing you know, they're all gone. Unrule. Unrule, mate. It's unrule. Okay, I'm just standing up here having a look to see if I have any battery holders. Ooh. Ooh. Because I just have this horrible feeling like I used them. I used the last just recently. I do have some different battery holders, but they don't look original. They work with half AA's, but they don't look original, and so I can totally understand that someone will be like, no, I don't want that on my computer. It's not good enough. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I got my laundry ultrasonic cleaner all up and running again. I mean, it was working, but it was only running on 10 of the 12 transducers. But that is now fixed. So, happy about that. I do use that laundry ultrasonic cleaner. It's not just for show. Alright, I'm not finding any battery holders, so I'll show you the ones that I do have, but I don't imagine you'll want these because of the way they look. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Tried to play the original, realised, like Myst, I need to buy the game at least twice to beat it. The Myst, the original Myst, is available using the Unreal Engine, and I've played that, and it's wonderful. So I have these. I have these little battery holders, these little half AA battery holders, and they work fine, but they look a little bit cheaper and older and everything. So, you know, I won't put those on there. I'll get some of the other ones. Actually, I might still have some somewhere else. I'll have a look a little bit later on. Here we go. Well, I'm not quite sure what to do at this stage. I might just sort of wrap things up because I've kind of gone as far as I want to go with this on camera. I don't necessarily want to start something new. I mean, I suppose I could keep working on that SE30 that I was working on, but I'm actually thinking that today it might be just a 2-hour stream, wrap it up a little bit early. I mean, early relative, it's sort of on time more than anything. 2 hours is generally what I aim for. But the last few with this board have been really long. I'm going to have a quick look here and see what the old what the views have been like. I peaked at around about 49 by the looks of it. Now we've dropped down to about 41. I think it probably peaked when I was just about to fire it up, I would say, or when I booted into a system. I will be. I don't have the car today, so if I'm going to go buy something to eat, I have to go somewhere within walking distance or make something at home. But I will probably make something at home. Will be my thought. Go and have a drink, get some water into me. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I say thank you to everyone for watching. Thanks for coming on this journey. Who here in the chat has actually watched all 5 episodes? And you don't have to have watched every minute of all 5, but has tuned in for at least some of all 5 of the episodes. Who is someone able to say that they've managed to do that? Yeah. Oh, excellent. Good stuff. I will be moving back onto an this SE30, which I don't think this is it. That's the one underneath there. SE30 that it belongs to Max Button, who's been in the chat, and it is battery damaged. And I thought I might, just work my way through it as a bit of fun. So that'll probably be the next one. And yeah, we'll see if we can get that one working. If not, of course, it'll make a great candidate for the SE30 Reloaded board. Another one of Bol's creations. Yeah, so as I've mentioned before in the video, there's lots and lots coming up. I've got a lot of pre-recorded stuff. When I finish this, I'm basically going to head up and sit in front of the in front of Final Cut Pro and do some editing. Hateful Teddy Bear watched all of them, really good streams and nice to learn about new things. Thank you very much for that, I appreciate it. I caught part of one, but was here for the rest. There we go, cool. We got there, that's the important thing. And it does make, I love these reloaded boards because, when you're working with a battery damaged board and you're doing repairs, you might just do a few wires and away you go. But other times you might do a whole stack of wires and you still can't figure out how to get it to work. When you're working with a brand new PCB, as long as you've, soldered the pins properly, not like the sort of stuff-ups I made, as long as you solder all your pins properly, it's just going to work. And that's just so good. I should do a recap stream. Yeah, well, because the recap that I did wasn't actually a stream. That was pre-recorded. I went and actually edited it all together. And I may do that, just depending on time. I have got so many commitments at the moment when it comes to getting videos out, and I haven't released one in a good long while. The next one that will be coming out, and I'm hoping that'll come out in the next few days, is one where I describe a process of creating a blue SCSI disk image from scratch using Sheep Shaver. So I basically go through the process of installing Sheep Shaver, creating a disk image, installing operating system on that image with Sheep Shaver, and then installing all the software you need in order to decompress files, mount disk images, all that sort of stuff. So I go through a step-by-step of getting your, getting sort of that disk image all working and all ready for transferring files around. So I've already done all of the how-to for that. Now I just need to do a little intro with me going, "Hi there, my name's Bruce." Even if you hate my face and everything I do, that's right. Yes, I was in a silly mood when I did that one. Yes, I said, please subscribe to the channel, even if you hate my face. No, even if you hate my face and everything I do, yeah. I got some good feedback from that video because I was very silly in the beginning, and someone actually left a comment on it saying, I'm only a couple of minutes in and I'm just laughing my head off, and I thought, oh, that's good. That was good. That was my intention. I haven't mentioned IIfx here today, so I probably should do that. IIfx, that's the one you want. Links in the description with a discount code as well. So if you click on the store and use the discount code and buy it from there, they are now fulfilling to the UK. So, yeah, US and the UK. So, fantastic stuff and very, very well priced. And of course, you're getting the right thing. He watched several minutes despite not being remotely interested in the source. You've done well when that sort of happens, don't you? You've managed to keep it tight enough. I mean, I sometimes show my wife some of the YouTubers that I watch, and I say, check this out. And she might watch a couple of minutes. She'd be like, I'm so bored with this now. And it's like, yeah, okay. So that's where I'm finding it entertaining for very different reasons. But yeah. Okie dokie. Yeah. I think I'm here because I give a crap about Paige, yeah. So, Jay, he is a Mac user, but he basically got in on the Mac action around about the time the Macs went all colourful. So he was, I think, the first Mac was a blue and white G3, if I remember correctly. So all of the pre-colourful Macs, he really doesn't know much about them at all. So he misses out on the beige stuff. But that's why we have little chat groups, and we have a separate chat group that we just call All Things Beige, and then we have only the people who are interested in the beige are members of that. So if we want to sort of chat about some, cheap thing that's come up or something like that, or talk about sort of a problem we're having with a beige computer, we put them in there so as not to bore poor Jay with the beige comments. Okay, well, I managed to just tick over there into the 2 hour mark. Now 2 hour 1 minute and 33 seconds. So I figure that's a good time to give it an ending, because that's 2 hours. That's all done. I can't think of anything that needs to be said, so I think I'll just wrap it up. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping the chat really lively. And thank you for everyone for turning up for these live streams and being part of it and going on this journey, this 2FX journey. It's been wonderful having everyone here and sort of following it as it went through. And great for us to actually get it up and running today and chiming and playing Wolfenstein even. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope everyone has a good day, evening, morning, wherever it happens to be in your part of the world. And I hope to see you at the next live stream. And I will scroll my way down here to the end stream button and say thank you and bye-bye.